Okay, so I've finally decided to do it to give you my review for Star Wars Episode 9, Rise of Skywalker. Now I know what you're thinking, hey, Rise of Skywalker, that came out over a week ago. Why are you just now giving us a review? Well, it's real simple. I wanted to take my time, so therefore I could put out my best quality review. What I didn't want to do was rush things just to get it done and put out an inferior product. So in case you haven't guessed it, I did not like Rise of the Skywalker. I just found myself completely bored with it. It came off as being entirely functionary. And as I sort of hinted before, I think that people just sort of rushed this to get the Star Wars sequel trilogy done. It's just a complete waste of time. Okay, so plot synopsis. What happened in Rise of the Skywalker? Okay, so in the last film, you know, both sides, they were left decimated, both the Resistance and the First Order. And in this film, Kylo Ren, he's trying to get the First Order back into order, and they start hearing these mysterious messages across the radio communications that Emperor Palpatine is still alive. Now, last time, chronologically, that it was all Emperor Palpatine, he was being thrown down the shaft of the second Death Star by Darth Vader. And when he hit the bottom of it, he exploded into a fireball. And then the second Death Star, of course, also destroyed in a massive fireball. So how the hell is he still alive? I don't know. They really don't explain it. It's his corpse, and the evil Sith energy is keeping it alive, or some nonsense like that. Anyway, when Kylo Ren gets to this mysterious planet the Emperor's on, he's got this whole fleet of Star Destroyers, which, spoiler alert, also have these weapons that make them basically Death Stars because they can destroy entire planets on their own. And he says to Kylo Ren, hey, we'll team up, we'll conquer the galaxy together. All I need from you is for you to bring me Rey. Because, you know, the Emperor's obsessed with her for some reason. Spoiler alert, because she's his granddaughter. Anyway, at the same time, Rey and her buddies, you know, Poe Dameron, Finn, Chewbacca, C-3PO, they're all trying to get to that mysterious planet so they can defeat the Emperor, but they have to bounce around from place to place to get this done. They have to get this thing, to get that thing, to find this thing. And it doesn't really lead to all that interesting of a movie. Like I said, they just rushed this out there. You can see it in so many aspects. The plot, the acting. The acting, I think most of the people involved, they don't care anymore. John Boyega, Oscar Isaacs, you know, their performance is just so flat. And I'm thinking, you know, behind the scenes, they're just fed up with these movies. They want to be done with it. And I don't blame them, you know. I mean, their characters started out strong, and then just progressively they got weaker as, you know, the movies went along. So I can understand why they might be upset. Daisy Ridley, though, still giving it her all, and I'd say that Adam Driver as well. But everyone else didn't give a shit. Yeah, so many problems. Another problem I think this movie came from is just the constant need to please the fans. And that's always been a problem with these, you know, this latest, you know, Disney Star Wars sequels. It's just constantly, you know, someone complains about something, so they want to fix that, but that just creates more problems. I mean, we started out with Force Awakens, which was just them fixing all the problems from the prequels. It's like, well, it's not Star Warsy enough, so you get a shot-by-shot remake of the original Star Wars. People don't like that, like me. They complain, and you get this completely unpredictable movie, you know, The Last Jedi, which is, you know, twist after twist. And some people had a problem with that, and then now they're correcting in this movie, and this movie's just as terrible. If not worse. No, it is worse. It's so much worse. It's like the Emperor. Why? Why did you think you needed to bring him back from the dead? I like the Emperor. I loved him in Return of the Jedi and Revenge of the Sith. In the other two prequel movies, you know, whatever. But he was fucking on his game in those two. Revenge of the Sith and Return of the Jedi. And this, it's another performance that just felt underwhelming. And it's like, why? He had such a cool ending. He gets thrown down the shaft and explodes, but apparently that doesn't kill anyone. Also, I'm beginning to think that being thrown from large heights, won't kill anyone in the Star Wars universe at this point, because not only you have the Emperor surviving being thrown down the shaft of the second Death Star, but you had Darth Maul, despite being cut in half and thrown down a shaft, he survived. Luke Skywalker survived the one in Bespin, so big hope for all you Mace Windu fans, he probably survived his fall. So like I said, I wasn't a fan of the Emperor coming back. Or, for that matter, the big reveal that Rey was his granddaughter. When that happened, I just groaned, because it's like, why? What was so wrong with the idea of her coming from no one? That she wasn't part of some great bloodline. That she herself was just someone special. And she had the Force in her. And she was going up against Mr., pedigree. Ben Solo. He's got the blood of, two generations of Jedis in him. Well, I don't know if Leia was really a Jedi, but you get the feeling who his family was, how important they were, and he gets defeated by Rey, who came from nobody. But instead, they decide that she's going to be the Emperor's granddaughter. That they had this son that you've never heard of before, and it reminded me of a book series they had on Star Wars in the 90s, where they had this character, he was called Ken, and it's set in, the Star Wars universe after Return of the Jedi, and he's just like their biggest fan of the Resistance. Like somehow he had seen all their adventures on his TV, and this Ken character, this kid, he goes out to find Luke Skywalker, and he trains to be a Jedi with him. The kid thinks that he's Obi-Wan Kenobi's grandson, but turns out he's the Emperor's grandson, and his father was some three-eyed guy. And yeah, that felt a lot like that terrible book series from the 90s. I think it was called The Jedi Prince. But no, that reveal doesn't do anything. It's like, oh, God. Fucking, because people complain. They're like, what do you mean she's nobody? My fan theory. Fan theories are just so goddamn redundant. It's always someone was related to someone else. It's never some cool new character, and this is what it means, their storyline. It's always, oh, this person's related to that person. Give it a rest. So yeah, like I said, I did not enjoy the whole anything with the Emperor. Let me just read from my notes. Yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Like I said, I did enjoy Daisy Ridley and Adam Driver's performances, but everything else is just, let's just get through the numbers. As far as the death of Leia, I don't blame them for doing what they did. They didn't do that CGI, like they have one actor and they put Leia's face on her, any of that nonsense, except for like a flashback when they were younger. But, the way they handled it, I thought it was pretty cool, because they used some old style movie tricks when like the actor dies and they need to repurpose some other footage of them, and then they change the background, or they do some stuff like with body doubles in the shadows, and voice doubles like Enter the Dragon when Bruce Lee died. They did that with Carrie Fisher's character. And what were they going to do? Carrie Fisher had died. I don't think they should have recast her. I don't think they should have done that CGI nonsense that they do now, where they bring back the dead people. So yeah, I thought they handled that pretty nicely. But all around, I was just disappointed with this movie. It just, so much of it was just fan service and just utter nonsense, and it was just so boring. And that's really all I can say at this point. I'm done with the Star Wars movies for now. I don't think they're actually making any more anytime soon. But not only that, I'm just kind of lost interest in franchises. Movies that have just multiple sequels over year after year. I just want to stick to movies where it's just one movie at a time. Like the way that Quentin Tarantino or Martin Scorsese does it. They'll do one film every once in a while, and that film will be a standalone movie. I'm more interested in seeing those than the same old nonsense over and over again. So this might be my last review for quite a while then. Yeah,